You might be surprised to learn that just over 1/3 of the US population has never had a retirement account. 50% of women and almost that of men between the ages of 55 and 66 have nothing saved for retirement. The fact that less than 1/4 of retirees only have $100,000 more saved is concerning, given that the average retiree over the age of 65 can expect to spend over $300,000 on healthcare alone. When was the last time you gave any thought to your future retirement? While it's commendable that today's youth give priority to building a successful career, are you not curious as to why some people can retire at a young age? Keep watching to find out how they did it. Number 1. Planning. What does retirement look like to you? When people talk about retiring early, they often have very different ideas in mind, from doing a little bit of work to doing nothing at all. So, the first thing to do if you want to retire early is to figure out what you want retirement to be like. Having a firm grasp on your vision of retirement can have far-reaching effects on your life during retirement and your finances. You won't benefit from much of a relaxing retirement if you don't do much planning ahead of time, unless you intend to continue working. On the other hand, you have a lot of planning and work ahead of you if your idea of retirement consists of doing very little, except spending quality time with your loved ones and engaging in activities that bring you joy. How much money do you want in your retirement? We began this video by discussing the significance of clearly defining your retirement goals. Even more crucial than that though, is knowing how much money you'll need to retire comfortably. If you want to retire early, you should ask yourself where you want to settle down. You have to decide whether to stay in your current home or downsize. Where do you see your debt levels going in the future? Your mortgage payment is included in this. In retirement, how much do you anticipate spending annually? Such costs may include necessities like food and shelter, mandatory medical care, and optional pursuits like vacationing. According to people who retired early and used their money wisely, the ideal amount to have saved or invested is 30 times your expected annual expenses. Make your plan. Now that you know where you want to retire, you can start working towards those goals. Keep watching to find out how. Next, you need to educate yourself on financial planning strategies. Once you've established a firm plan for your investment portfolio savings, health insurance, and emergency funds account, you can start thinking about retiring early. However, to ensure that this plan is completely foolproof, we recommend that you consult with a financial advisor. Number 2. Learning. Expand your knowledge in finance. It was mentioned at the beginning of the video that retiring early is not easy, but by now, we hope you can see that it's an attainable goal. However, without a solid understanding of your personal finances, early retirement is typically not an option. There is one thing that all retirees share: an extensive understanding of their financial situation. Take the time to educate yourself on the fundamentals of saving, investing, taxes, cost of medical insurance, and carefully planning your spending for retirement. You shouldn't be nervous about entering the field of finance. This education will prove invaluable. Get a clear picture of where your finances are today. How do you plan to get where you're going if you don't know where you are? It's just as important to know where you stand financially right now as it is to have a plan for retiring early. Do you need help deciphering where your finances are today? So, here is a short list of questions specifically for you to consider. How much money do you have saved? How much do you owe in loans? How can you lower your expenses without compromising your quality of life? How much money do you have in your account for a rainy day? When you know the answers to these questions, you'll be in a better position to plan for your financial future and possibly retire sooner than you otherwise would have. Learn how to manage your level of risk. You want to retire early and have a good plan for building wealth through investments. There is always some risk involved in mastering the art of building wealth through investments, and if that risk isn't managed properly in the beginning, you could end up with some big financial setbacks. Portfolio diversification and well-considered asset selection are just two methods among many that help people safeguard their finances. Maintaining a healthy investment portfolio is crucial, but that doesn't mean we should stick to the tried and true methods of capital accumulation. Risk-taking is what sets the ambitious apart from the overcautious. Number 3. Saving. Make the most from your employer's retirement plan. The likelihood that your company offers a 401k or similar retirement plan is higher than you might think. Joining is easy, all you need to do is sign up. But let's be honest, your company's retirement savings plan won't be enough to allow you to retire early. Actually, they are designed with the end goal of a comfortable retirement at a very old age, because that's when the money saved actually starts to add up. However, before dismissing your employer's retirement plan, you need to realize that you have nothing to lose. It's very easy to start, and it's a great way to accumulate long-term savings. The question becomes, why not get started right away? Establish good financial habits. Is early retirement possible if one doesn't practice financial restraint? The answer is no, of course not. Achieving early retirement requires serious consideration of your personal finances. Do you regularly spend hundreds on things like clothing, technology, and restaurants? If you're serious about saving for your golden years, you need to immediately adjust your current situation. You may be thinking that a couple of $100 isn't a big deal. The fact is, it does make a difference, and if you don't make the appropriate money adjustments now, you will have only yourself to blame later when you start running out of money. For instance, allocate a greater portion of your income to savings. Say, for argument's sake, that your annual luxury vacation costs $12,000. How about having it and putting the extra cash into a savings account? The trade-off here is that you'll have to take a less luxurious vacation, but you'll have more savings as a result. The earlier and more frequently you start doing this, the larger your retirement harvest will be. Save as much money as you can. In terms of savings, the earlier you get started, the better. Although we all try to save as much as we can, the truth is that most of us only put away a fraction of our income. As a result, those who chose to retire early make the difficult choice to save as much money as they can, knowing that only then will they have enough to live the retirement of their dreams. Number 4. Grow your wealth. Early retirement from a regular 9-to-5 job will be very difficult. In a regular 9-to-5 job, it is extremely difficult to save enough money to retire. Early retirement requires making some tough choices. In some cases, this may require the launch of a new endeavor, while in other cases, it may call for the purchase of high-yield assets like real estate or, for the more adventurous, stocks. Treat your investments like a business. The vast majority of millionaires treat their investments and savings like a business, which is a key distinction between them and the rest of the population. In the long run, you can't just disregard your investment portfolio, assuming it will magically grow without you tending to it. You need to give this portfolio the same attention and care you'd give a business. Always be looking for ways to improve it and be ready to seize new opportunities. Nevertheless, putting in the time and effort to build your company pays off in the long run. Why don't you set up your company in such a way that it generates income for you even when you're not actively working? Number 5. Be healthy. Put your health first. When we are constantly reminded of the importance of planning for our financial future, it can be easy to neglect our physical future. Money and travel destinations are common topics of conversation. However, regardless of your pursuits, you must always put your health first. In fact, it's smart to set aside money in case of a medical emergency. This way, your retirement savings won't be at risk if you experience a sudden, serious illness. For those who hope to retire early, prioritizing their health early in life is crucial. Make healthy eating a priority. Enjoy every moment today. Aiming for an early retirement is a noble goal, but it's easy to lose sight of the forest for the trees. You might be so worried about the future that you forget how to enjoy the present. It surely will take tremendous effort, sleepless nights, and anxiety-filled days to be able to retire early. Come to think about it, even retirement at 65 requires work, preparation, and stress. Look up at the sky every once in a while. Be grateful for what you have, and take pleasure in living. After all, that's what we are here for, right? Do you have any advice for retiring early? Do you feel like you have important information and valuable insights which could benefit others? Feel free to share them in the comments below. Click the videos on the screen to learn more about making money and developing a wealth mindset. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.